Welcome to the March 20th, 2025 meeting of the Decatur Architectural Review Board. I will call roll with each commission member answering present. Barbara Kelly.
Present.
Patrick Rasco.
Present.
Jacob Woods.
Present.
I am Ella Chenault, the board chair, and we do have a quorum present. Dr. Swope is the city's preservation specialist. Thank you for everyone attending today. Your involvement in this commission's proceedings is vital to the effectiveness of the process. There is a copy of the agenda out front if you would like one. Historic district designation means your neighborhoods have been recognized by the United States government, the state of Alabama, and the city of Decatur as being architecturally or historically significant to our community. Historic districts are not created to prevent changes, but rather to ensure that the proposed changes are appropriate to the individual property and the districts as a whole. The board's responsibility is to review the appropriateness of all proposed changes. Each historic resource within the district is assessed on its own individual merits. What is appropriate for one property may not be appropriate for another based on resource age, location, neighboring properties, and stylistic details. The Architectural Review Board rulings are based on written standards and regulations that guide our review and decision making. These guidelines and the Commission's decisions have the force of city ordinance. You can access our guidelines along with application form on the city's website. Our hearing process is as follows. Staff will present the applications. When they read your name and property address, please be prepared to come to the podium. Staff will present the application and staff assessment of each request. When staff has finished presenting the application item, the applicant and/or designated representative will then state their name and address and provide any additional information or comments regarding that application item. The board may ask clarifying questions of the applicant at this time. Next, we will hear any public comments on that particular application items only. After public comment has closed, the chair will entertain a motion and the board will discuss and dispense with that application item. Staff will then proceed to the next application item and so forth. An approved certificate of appropriateness, or COA, will be issued in the form of an email that copies both the applicant and the building department approximately 1 week after the hearing. The document will outline and reaffirm what was approved and that the project has been approved. The COA must be issued before a building permit can be obtained. If any changes in your project are anticipated after the COA is issued, it is the responsibility of the homeowner to contact staff and she will help guide you. In some cases, you may be required to submit the changes for review and issuance of a new COA. If your project is denied and you are not issued a COA, you will be issued a letter stating the reasons for denial and additional information. Denied COAs will be sent by certified mail to the property owner's address filed with the Morgan County Revenue Commissioner's office. You may resubmit an application with revised plans at a future meeting. There is an appeal process for denied COAs as well, which is spelled out in the municipal ordinance under sections 1825 and 1892. After all applications are heard, the commission will entertain general comments from the public, limited to 3 minutes per individual. So at this time, we will review and approve the minutes from the February 13th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All approve? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And next will be the Dr. Swope with the expedited COAs.
We had 421 6th Avenue that was installing HVAC at the rear of the house. 626 Sherman that was renewing an expired COA for an additional 6 months. 1020 Sherman that was a new roof. 814 Gordon also renewing an expired COA for an additional 6 months. 421 6th Avenue alter a curb cut width. It's a project that the board had approved, but the city engineer came back and said that they needed to widen the curb cut a little more than what we had approved. So I worked with the city engineering department on that.
On that one, that doesn't change the, I guess, the amount of wall we were taking out, if you just.
No, it's just, it's
the curb
only
cuts.
on the planting strip. That's where they wanted it, the throat. They wanted the throat to be a little bit wider to, from the city.
Okay.
Okay, and on to the new COA review.
First COA, it is 645 Bolton Street, and this is an awning within the Albany district. This is the location of the property. This is the house. Staff had received a phone call about a new porch, and so when I met with the property owner, she was explaining to me that it does have a roof, but it is movable and that it's used like as an awning in the sunnier months to block strong light from coming into the house. So this is what it looks like with no awning on it. I couldn't, because when I went on site, there were too many cars for me to get like a long view, so I had to kind of get close to you. And so this is a structure here, but it's not attached to the house, it's pushed up against the house. And so the action requested is to be able to keep it during the spring and summer months. So, and this was, I saw this like last summer, and we moved it in the fall, we just held off bringing it to the board until the spring again. So under the design review standards, if it's referred to as an awning, that's section 5, awnings and canopies. Window awning should be a canvas or similar material. Select awnings and traditional design. Shed type awnings are most appropriate designs in parallel with the horizontal line of your window frames. I should put a caveat in here. The design review standards did not specifically address post-World War II houses. This is a post-World War II house. What is most appropriate for this is a metal awning. I have a picture of one I will show shortly. If it is considered more like a gazebo or a pergola under section 18, 18.1, structures such as gazebos and pergolas should be constructed of wood or brick and complement the associated primary building. Gazebo and pergola structures should not obscure views or damage historic features of the associated primary building. And 18.3, locate gazebos, fountains, and pergolas out of or with limited public view in rear or side yards. So as currently placed, the awning or the structure does not meet the appear to meet standards for an awning, but if it's categorized as a gazebo, it doesn't appear to meet those standards as written. So this is post-World War II housing, and it shows you sort of the metal designs that were typically used on these houses. I do not have any more information, but Ms. McIntosh is here, and she can come up to the dais and address any questions that you have.
So the metal awnings, I don't want the metal awning because I only keep it for like 3 months.
We need you up
Yeah,
here,
come up here to
this
the
last name,
slide.
so that everything here.
Thank you.
Yep. And I actually looked into retractable awnings, but the space up above the window before the roof line is only like 4 or 5 inches, so it's not enough room. So this is the only thing that I could come up with last year, and I just built it. It's just a 4x6 out of 2x2s and 1x6s. It will be painted. It stays up probably about 3 months. I think I put it up in July last year, and then I took it down right after I got back from Germany at the end of September. The issue is that the roof is so low, and there is no shade at all provided by the wall. So, and
Facing,
bitte?
is that is that north facing?
Yes, it is, but still, there's no shade at all in the summertime because the sun is up so high in the sky. Now, I've also, in previous years, I have had umbrellas there. Nobody has said anything about the umbrellas, but they kept getting tore up, they kept getting faded and blown over by the wind, and so, and they did not have the right shape to provide shade right over that window because this is where I work. And I looked at the design guidelines and I did not see anything about anything seasonal or temporary in there placed on the porch. That's why I was very surprised when Caroline called me and said that I needed to come up here. And it's like, well, it's not attached to the house. It's just sat there on my porch. And it's not even in the front of the house, it's to the side. So you have to, if you come from 6th Avenue, you have to be right in front of the house to see it. If you come from Somerville Road, you won't see it once you get to the front of the house.
I think for me, two things is, I guess, you're calling it a awning.
Well, I was calling it a canopy. So I didn't call it, yeah.
But following the codes on that, the way it looks like it's attached to the house. Like an umbrella would be sitting out and be part of like a patio furniture setting or whatever. We're not overseeing your chairs, once you put it out there. But this particular one, to me, it looks like it was part of the house. When I drove by, I know it's movable, but it looks like it's been attached to the house. And there may be some other ways to design it to where, hey, I can still move it, but it is more in keeping with what is appropriate for this style house. So it could have the metal awning, but maybe it's got a way that it's attached or built or to the house where it fits better with the style of the house.
Not the metal awning, but the issue is that I only want to use it for 3 months.
Yeah,
in the summertime, so I can't
really attached to the house and then pulled back off, but it's there and it looks more proper. And it'll be a different style of metal.
Well, I know, and it'll come down and it'll make my room more dark than this one. Because this one I did the angle very, very, very slight. So that I still had light coming into the room, but just not so much sun. My preference would have been a retractable awning.
If we put that on the front of the house, we probably wouldn't allow that to go
Okay,
to the
well,
front.
okay.
On the back, yes.
Yeah.
On the front.
So if I remove it, if I move it out to where it doesn't look like it's attached to the house, or if I turn it around?
Well, once you move it out, it's kind of more of a gazebo. I mean, umbrella is an umbrella. I mean, everybody kind of knows what that is. This is more of like a structure build. Even though it's not permanent, it's still a object that's built. So, I mean, to me, if you move it out, then it falls under the gazebo or the,
Even if you can
I'm
move it
fighting for
around,
the
even if you can
definition.
move it around.
Yeah, I'm fighting for the definition of what it is. So if it's an awning or gazebo, I'm trying to, it's got to fit into one of these definitions and then we apply the criteria to it.
Right. And if it doesn't fit?
In the guidelines, that's kind of where I am. But I think it needs to be of more in keeping with the style of the house.
One of the issues I have is the temporary nature. If it's approved as temporary, then that means somebody has to keep checking it all the time to make sure that some of the time it's off. So to me, it's either on and approved or it's off. You know, because the temporary nature
Well, and that's why I was looking in the guidelines, and I didn't see anything about temporary, seasonal. You know, people put all kinds of stuff like Christmas. They put decorations up, and they put manger scenes, and so I did not see anything that regulated that at all. That's why I just went ahead and built it.
And I know some people leave their Christmas decorations up year round.
Yeah.
They just don't turn it on.
Yeah.
But that's different than a structure.
Well, yeah, but I was looking for the temporary and the seasonal, and I didn't find anything.
Just typically not allowed. Because who's going to keep checking to make sure?
You can drive by my house. Twice a year you can drive by.
More irons in the fire.
Oh, come on, Ellis.
Patrick, you want to weigh in? Or Barbara?
I
Yep.
just feel like our hands are tied because we have to go by the guidelines. And it doesn't fit.
But it doesn't fit in the guidelines.
No, it doesn't. That's all we have to go by. And whatever you do is a precedent for other people, so we have to really be sure of what we're doing. And the temporary nature of it, to me, is the only beneficial part, you know. But I keep thinking there's got to be an awning made out of metal that could work for this. I mean,
I don't know, but I
It
knew.
would have to be a specially, I mean, it would have to be you couldn't just go buy it at Lowe's or something, it'd have to be built. But, I mean, I'm not familiar with the awnings, except the canvas type.
Mm-hmm.
And would that be inappropriate? The canvas would be appropriate, right?
In this era, it's a metal awning,
Has
it's
to be a
most
metal.
appropriate, but they still sell these awnings, there are places in town.
Right.
There's a variety of metal awnings, and you can see these two houses up here are the same style as hers, they're also new and traditional, and they have their original awnings on them. And
But I can't.
This era, the awnings in this era, because they had such low roof pitches, like her house, they're designed to go right over that window. That's how they're manufactured, because this particular style of house, as she mentioned, does not have very much space there at all. It literally has to go right on that window because they don't have the depth that some of the older houses did when they designed them.
So if you were to buy one to fit, the question is, can it be installed in a way where you can pull it off?
Not easily, and also I wouldn't want the sides and to come down in the front, because see how dark it makes that window? And my
You
room,
can get them that aren't as thick as deep as that one.
Yeah, the one on the lower house is
Like the
not
lower-
nearly as deep.
And the upper central door looks like it just barely comes down.
And you might be able to get one that's like significantly more shallow. If you got one that was more shallow, it could possibly stay up all year round.
no, I don't want it all year round, because I want the light coming in, because the ceiling in that room is only 7 feet. So, and it's long, it's like 11 feet wide and 20 feet long. So it's dark in there.
Yeah.
What about a tree in your front yard?
The tree, well, the tree is sparse. The maple tree that's in the front yard is sparse, and it doesn't throw the shade over
Or
to
another
on the
tree?
house.
I mean, a tree, you know, closer to the house.
Oh, you mean plant a tree
Plant a
for
tree.
shade?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I'm
and
just suggesting something to get shade.
well, I know, and I've thought about that too. But how long would it take? And I have a crepe myrtle on the corner, but it takes forever for those trees to get any size.
Can you put her house back up?
The whole house?
Either one of those. Like, what about like a wood shutter or something on the inside that you could either throw open when you wanted the light or close it when you wanted more shade
From the top?
inside the house?
No, because the window comes all the way to the door. So I can't even put a curtain up.
I mean,
You put
a
what
wood
do you call
shade.
those Roman shades that go up and down, or what?
I mean, a wood shade would fit on the edge of the window trim.
A wood shade.
Yeah, we've got some of my office that are sheer, so you can let it down, you can see through it, the light still comes through, but it blocks some of the actual direct sunlight.
I don't know, I think I'd rather put an umbrella.
If you had a metal awning made, they could be made to have basically what you have now, you know, just a very shallow drop with no sides.
But the issue is, how hard would it be for me to take that off and put it back
You
on?
need to talk to the manufacturer about that.
Yeah,
But it's
that's-
not going to be probably something that you could do by yourself.
Yeah.
Because of weight, although that awning would be, I mean, you could pick it up and carry it, but for the width, to unscrew one side and have it loose while you're unscrewing the other side, that would be, I mean, that'd be dangerous. But you can discuss that with the manufacturer, because there's many ways to install those.
Yeah. I don't know, and there's no space between the window trim and the door trim either. Where the window meets the door, see over here on the, when you look at it on the left-hand side?
I think you'd be happier to put the sheer on the inside like was suggested, or those little bamboo shades that go up and down. They're very, very attractive, and you can just pull them all the way up in the wintertime.
How did the umbrellas work?
Well, they didn't, which is why I came up with this idea. I had to tie it to the railing to keep it from being blown over. So the only way an umbrella will work is if I put a big table there to hold the umbrella. But yeah, and then they get bad looking. They get dirty if it's a light colored umbrella. They get dirty if it's a dark colored umbrella. They get faded, so it looks real tacky.
Are you more concerned with the amount of sunlight that's coming into the room? Is that what you're trying to block, or are you trying to make an area outside to sit under?
No, I don't sit out front
Okay.
usually, but I have plants out there,
Yeah.
and my plants they burned up last year.
Yeah. If the main concern is keeping the sunlight out of that room, I think you would be wildly better served with some kind of treatment on the inside of the house rather than trying to do a temporary structure which doesn't fit with the guidelines, or even a metal awning. I think you'd be way better off to just pursue or look at, some of the options that fit on the window itself. Because there's got to be like 4 inches or so of trim between that door and the window.
There's not. Well, the trim, there's the trim. There's just no space. There's no space in between on the inside. There's about this much space between the door trim and the window trim.
Patrick, am I hearing something in this? Am I hearing correctly? You're talking about interior mounted shutters that go onto the interior trim of the window, not outside the window.
Correct.
The ones that go on the inside. So like
Yeah.
plantation shutters that are bolted on the inside of that trim, and then the open or have louvers as well. Is that what it is?
100%. Yes.
Or even a sheer room shade, just something that kind of can fit throughout that sign on the inside.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those ideas. I think I would have to go with the umbrella. I mean, regardless of how it looks. But I want something that the shutters on the inside aren't going to work because there's no room. There's no room for them. They would stick out into the room when they're open, and the window is like 5 feet wide. So you can't, you know, I just don't see it working. Up above, there's not, and I have vertical blinds there because I have dogs. So I have to, you know, I can't have whatever I have up there to be destroyed by the dogs because they like to climb up, they like to look out the window and everything. So there's no room up above.
So if there's no way to do a window treatment inside, I think you're back to the metal awning because that's the only thing that really fits in the guidelines. And the temporary structure, I don't see it getting approved just from what I'm hearing and what I've read in the guidelines.
But it doesn't fit the guidelines. It doesn't fit the guidelines, right?
And that's the point, it's got to fit the guidelines.
That's right. There's nothing in there that controls that.
That means they don't fit. Any more comments?
I don't have
Barbara? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the awning as submitted. Installed on the house.
Got a second?
Second.
Second, Harper. All those in favor of the COA as submitted? All those opposed? Aye. The motion fails. COA fails.
So who all was against it?
Sorry?
So who all was against it? Everybody?
All four.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't fit.
Well, I know it doesn't fit. Okay.
Now,
On the umbrella side, I know
The umbrella doesn't fit either.
that's not a structure that's attached to the house.
Well, it's not attached to the house either.
It definitely looks like it's attached to the house. But I know they do make the weighted stands with wheels that can roll them around and they can tilt and move. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of different options with those. You need shade for the plants or
Yeah, I know. I just thought this looked much better than an umbrella. Anyway, and nobody drives down Moulton Street and looks at these houses anyway. You do? Well, because, yeah, you sit on this board. But, I mean, people that come and tour and look at the houses and look at the architecture, they don't come down Moulton Street, you know.
you'd be surprised, I think.
Well, they will be disappointed.
You've got the great entrance now to Moulton Street. I mean, it's a wonderful entrance with that park. I mean, and the signage. I mean, it's the most important entrance as far as the signage.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the houses. Look at the house. Look at the one on the corner next to the gas station. It's falling apart. And Caroline said they were working on it. But it's been in
Just one house
disrepair.
at a time is all we can do. And like 8th Avenue has a nice house, and I mean, there are nice houses on that street. Very nice houses. So
No.
Yours
But
is
most-
gorgeous house.
But you know, the other thing is that most of them are rentals. About more than half of them are rentals. 4 of them are Airbnbs.
it's just one at a time. That's all we can do. Is just one at a
And
time.
they just don't care. You know, there's garbage in the yard. There's cars. The house next to me, it has cars lined up in the driveways. It has cars crossing the sidewalk, and so anyway, okay, all right. I think I'll have to go.
Next door neighbor, the Jewels on the street.
The what now?
The Jewel on the street, you're the next door neighbor. Doing a lot of work.
There are other houses on that block too that have done a lot of work.
Well, okay.
I agree with another time.
All right. I guess I'll have to go with the umbrella.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just doesn't fit, sorry. Any more to take before the board?
There's nothing else on the
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Patrick, Barbara, one second.
Second, please.
We're gonna vote. No, say no.
You can say that all you want, you'll just be in the dark.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Are we still on?